Welcome back to A Word With Yourself.
Yeah. Where we're
Straight
talking
in.
about my injury.
So wait, what actually happened?
Okay, so let me ask you a question first.
Yeah.
Do you want the truth?
Is it
I'll tell you the
better?
truth.
Okay.
So we were at Elevate last week. Shout out to Elevate. We had a great time, fully packed schedule, was all done by like late Thursday night after we had kind of, had a few drinks and dinner. Anyway, woke up the next day on the Friday. Very chill day. All I had to do that day was like, check out of my Airbnb and like move across town because I was staying somewhere else for the weekend, staying in Toronto. And so I basically put a towel around myself weirdly or too quickly. And then something just like twanged in my bicep.
That's like you're in your 30s now, just simply wrapping a towel around yourself.
And like I told him, like, oh, do you know, I was getting out of the shower, I just put a towel on myself. I was like, oh my God, and you fell. I was like, no.
No. Yeah, I know. I thought you were gonna say like I slipped in the bath. Or I had too many drinks like the night before and I fell.
No.
That would have been way more fun.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, I've been having issues with that arm for a while, and it turns out that I might have been like aggravating for a while and then just suddenly did a thing. So it was already kind of on the cusp of being injured. But still, that doesn't really make it any better. I just threw something around me weirdly and then something twanged. And so then what happened is I spent a couple of hours catching up on it. I like picked that arm up with my other arm because I couldn't move it and put it in my pocket and went, it'll be grand.
I put my arm in my pocket.
I literally had to pick my arm up with my other arm and like place it in the pocket on that side because there was nowhere else to put it and I couldn't lift it. I literally couldn't lift my arm. I couldn't move it. And I was like, it'll be fine. It'll be okay in like an hour or so. It'll be okay. And so I walked around fully delusional for a couple of hours doing some work, having my breakfast.
Limp armed.
Like literally couldn't move it, had it just placed in my pocket. And then when I kind of went through the trauma of like packing and like getting out with my bags and stuff, got an Uber over to the hotel I was staying at. And by the time I was like, no, you know what?
Right.
You know what, actually, now that I think about it, having no use of my right arm without extreme pain is maybe not good. And maybe I should get a second opinion as to what I should do.
At least one opinion.
I actually nearly called you, you know.
Oh my God.
I nearly called you. I was like, help, I can't know what to do.
You should have.
And yeah, so I took myself to the emergency room and stayed there for most of Friday. Literally dragged my arm to the emergency room. Had such a nice Uber driver. He got out of the car to help me with my bag. He's like, oh, I saw you with your arm there because I must have been holding it or whatever in some way. And so he did that, and then as we were going through Toronto, I was like, yeah, no, I think I've heard it, and and then he was telling me about his nerve issues in his neck that were causing him problems for ages and all of that. And we pulled up to the hotel. He's like, I can wait for you here, and then I'll take you to the emergency room because I was just going to drop off my bags.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, like, don't worry, And he was like, no, for free. Like, I'll wait here for you. You come out, I'll take you for free to the emergency room. And I was like, that's so nice, but I know this hotel, they're going to have me there for like a half an hour before they. So like, don't worry about it. But it was really lovely. He was so lovely. So yeah, I took myself to the emergency room and was there for most of the day.
Oh my God. Because it's not one of those things like it's not a heart thing, because I know they'll put you through quickly if it's something like that. But if it's like my arm's dead and you're not having a stroke or something, they'll let you sit there until they have time.
Yeah. And honestly, you know what? It was fine. I was
pretty swift.
Yeah, I was in and out between like the various triages and had an X-ray and everything. I was out in 4 hours.
Wow, that's good.
Shout out Toronto General Hospital.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's brilliant. You wouldn't get that in Ireland. Jesus, you'd be like 8 hours. No, I've been to the A&E there a few times and it's been great.
Yeah, it was like Toronto General Hospital. They were absolutely amazing.
Top tier emergency room.
Yeah. So it turns out that I was like, I don't know what it is. Anyway, might have definitely strained a tendon in my bicep.
Yeah.
Possibly partially tore it, but didn't fully blow my bicep, which apparently would have been really bad, but I didn't do that.
And it must be the repetitive strain injury from using that arm in the mouse and stuff like that.
There's definitely some of that involved in it, that it turns out that was probably what it was this whole time, and then I've like just aggravated it acutely. Anyway, there's my medical diagnosis, but anyway, basically exactly when we needed it, super busy time. Yeah. When I needed my arm, I lost it.
Yep, just when you think things are going too well.
Too well. It was going too good. It was going too good. And the universe said, we need to humble you a little bit. And so anyway, it'll be great. I'm actually, do you know what? Going in with a muscle injury or whatever is so much better than a break or a nerve issue or a spinal issue. Like this is, although albeit very painful, will be short term and healable. And that is great. Anyway, so this is this.
Yeah. So this is
my right arm. My right arm as well. Lovely.
3 out of our 4 arms are working.
3 out of, and that's 75% is a majority.
Look, who needs their right hand? Look, you'll be so good at using things in your left hand now because you'll have to use it more.
Do you know what? What I discovered? I can use chopsticks with my left hand.
Well, most people can't even use them with their good hand.
Exactly. I was talk about being smug about things.
Yeah. Oh my God, 100%.
Had a whole meal. It was a little messy, but I did it.
Okay, can you use them or can you use them well?
I can use them pretty well. Yeah.
Just imagine you being like, yeah, that was grand, and there's just noodles everywhere.
It wasn't that bad, actually.
Nailed it.
Yeah, but no, I was like, I'm going to do it, and I did, and I was like, wow, this is a new skill that I didn't know I had. Yeah.
They're very difficult to use. I think you just either get it or you don't, then there's no hope.
Muscle memory.
Yeah. So
anyway, you were at Elevate last week. You were at Elevate. I was at Elevate. What did you think about it?
I thought it was great, actually. I had never been in Meridian Hall before, so that was new. I watched a couple of speakers. There was one I really liked who was, you were there too, actually, the CEO of this place called Food 52, and she was the CEO of Barstool Sports.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she just was like, just seemed really sound and like authentic and like was saying things that I never expect like a management or a CEO to say, like, oh, my management team's been arguing all week or something like that. And I was like, oh my God, I love this girl.
Yeah.
So I really liked her. She had really nice hair, as we had commented.
She had great hair.
Honestly, the women at Elevate on stage all had the best heads of hair. I was like, this is great. Great for the female population.
It's a correlation, not a causation.
Yeah. Smart people, good hair. So I really like that. And yeah, I really like the little women in tech area they had there that like you were speaking at too. It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Kind of cool. What did you think?
Yeah,
you were speaking at it. So that's a different experience to being an attendee like I was.
It was a different experience because we had to go through a different door for registration.
I know. When you left us, you're like, well, we've got to go this way. And Sterling and I were like, okay, we'll go with the ordinary folks this way. But like, you go into that room and then come back out the normal way to go to the stage.
Yeah, but they want you there and then they like walk you to your place to make sure that you get there. Yeah. Which is like, fancy. I think I think it's not about that. It's more about making sure you turn up.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. Right.
Yeah.
So
who turn up if they were speaking at Elevate unless it was a terrible.
I think like a lot of people are like, if they do it a lot, maybe maybe they just, you kind of get used to it, and then you might like take your eye off the ball for the time and stuff like that. So you know.
I'm sure there's probably lots of people who are like late or forgot what time they were on or something like that. Yeah, but it seemed to be pretty snappy. Like I was there first thing on Thursday morning, and it was straight into it. Like there was no messing. So it was really, really well organized.
Yeah, it felt great. Like, I mean, the people who like managed us and stuff, like all of that, they were really good. They were on it.
Yeah,
it was good.
Yeah,
it was a good time.
And your talk was great.
Thanks.
I mean, I was half listening, half running around taking pictures and making sure everybody had a beaver to raise up.
Yeah, honestly, the beavers were a hit.
Yeah, I have one here. Hold on.
People don't know I am also now the co-founder and COO. Oh, it's gonna be blurry. Co-founder and COO of Gander Social. Because who needs one job when you can have two? And so we've been working super hard on that. And so the beavers were because they're part of our branding, not just because we thought we would print out a bunch of
beavers on a stick.
Yeah.
But they were used for voting and things like that. Yeah, they were great. They were. Yeah. People were like, "Can I keep them?" And I was like, "Sure." I was like, "I don't have any jurisdiction over what I just told them they could." Like, you know what? You take that.
We did end up with like a bag of beavers coming back, so we'll have them for another event. Yeah,
they're great. I love them, and I said they're really well made.
well, nicely printed.
Yes, very much so. And the designs are great because obviously your
All things
founder and
designs,
CEO
yeah.
is so, I've never come across like better branding for like a startup. Not even a startup, like
Just
general, like,
generally.
yeah, just generally, like
Yeah.
it's just so good.
Yeah.
I love it.
And it's so honestly, I don't think I've worked for a startup where the CEO or like the founder is the
Mm,
designer. Like a lot of people
mm,
with good ideas, a lot of very good technical people, but is actually
yeah,
a designer. And
yeah.
for, we're doing a social media app, it's so important. So to have
Hmm.
really, really slick user
Yeah,
interface, the
yeah,
designs are beautiful, the branding is
yeah.
beautiful, and it makes it so
If
much
you,
easier because that problem
yeah,
is solved.
yeah, and generally that's a really difficult one to like find your style and so and then
Yeah.
find designers who can reflect what's in your head and what like
Yeah.
you want your brand to convey. So like yeah, like you were already way ahead of that like when you started,
Yeah.
which is
We have
amazing.
we have a lot to chat to people like, oh my God, you must have some of the best PR out there. And we're like, we are like three people in a trench coat. Like
Hmm. With
technically we're
nothing
four
underneath.
four founders, four founders in a trench coat. Like
With a load of
because the
watches on the
design is so
inside.
good. Yeah, exactly. Design is good, the brand is so good, and we're just like, I don't know,
Yeah,
we're just kind of saying
yeah,
stuff like as it is, we're not really trying to put a spin on anything. So I think it just
yeah, yeah. It's
it seems
great.
to resonate with people. So I really like it. Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I think it was good. I enjoyed doing the talks. My first time doing a talk like that at an event like
Mm,
that, and so
hmm.
that was really great.
Yeah,
And I thought Elevate was good. What was interesting about Elevate though, is went for a few, like we went for the opening night and a few different talks and stuff. Is that there was a palpable like tone setting in
mm,
the audience and some of
yeah,
the speakers, but like the general like attendees of Elevate, in that the move towards like pro-Canadian businesses, like Canadian data sovereignty,
hmm,
especially when it comes to like AI, like it was noticeable. So when you had
hmm,
speakers up there who were like, hey, this is me and I'm running this American company and here's all the US data about my company and what we're doing in the US,
mm,
people were just like, we
mm,
don't know. We don't like
yeah,
tell us something. How is this relevant to us? How is
yeah,
this relevant to Canada? How is this relevant to my Canadian business? And so
hmm,
that was new. I haven't encountered that at a
yeah,
conference yet. That's obviously, I mean, we know the geopolitical situation.
yeah,
So we
yeah.
know it's been building up, but it was so
To
noticeable
see it
in the
in the
room, to
flesh.
sit in the room with people, for people to be like,
Mm,
and like
hmm.
even chatting to people at some of the like, social events in the
Yeah,
evenings, everybody said the same thing. They were like, this guy just kept giving us like US stats. And it's like, that's not relevant
that's not
to us.
relevant.
Like,
Yeah.
don't come to a Canadian conference and just talk about the States.
But
Um,
before, it would have been heavily influenced by American tech, and like it would have
heavily.
been amazing to have American tech speakers and blah blah blah. Blah. But now the
Yeah,
whole environment has shifted towards Canada
yeah.
first.
There is a distinct vibe shift,
Mm,
and I think it's still happening. And
hmm.
honestly, I think it's great. We
It
can
is.
like, support Canadian businesses more, encourage more Canadian entrepreneurship, encourage
Yeah,
more businesses to be started in Canada, and create
yeah.
the
Internal
infrastructure for that.
investment. Yeah.
It would be amazing. Yeah, it would be
Hmm.
amazing. So
Hmm.
I was really happy to see that. I think that was really, really
Yeah.
cool. So
The opportunity's always been there, and then all of a sudden, it's just kind of giving it a bit of a push, hasn't it? And
yeah,
it's really
yeah.
great for Canada.
You've had a bit like a little bit of a wake up call almost with all of
Yeah.
this, to realize like, because things are fine when they're fine, right? But as
Yeah.
soon as there's this like stress on that relationship and stress on like
Hmm.
what we're seeing happening there, and trying to
Yeah.
make sure that that doesn't leak here, but knowing
Yeah.
how intertwined all of our like technical infrastructure is and our digital infrastructure
Yeah.
is a bit of a wake up call for people to be like,
Yeah. We need to
oh, like
prepare.
we're exposed massively from a risk perspective,
Hmm. Hmm.
and trying to like tighten that up and become more
Yeah.
resilient to that is like really important. I think people have been really paying attention to that.
Hmm.
That was clear, I think, at Elevate. That was
Yeah. Definitely.
major.
Yeah. The atmosphere was great. I mean, everybody was
Yeah,
just having a great time, and it
having a
was
good
just
time.
lovely. Yeah, it was lovely,
Yeah,
and the weather was fat. Like it couldn't have been better. It was just like a lovely couple of days.
yeah, the weather was fab.
Hmm.
It only turned once it ended, really. Got a little cold, I think, on the Saturday.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
ah, that
Ah,
was
oh
over.
well. It was perfect. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it was great.
yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
The AI stuff was interesting too. So
Mm.
everybody everybody's
Hmm.
talking about AI. And
Yeah,
here's
there's
the
a lot
thing.
of
Here my opinion on this. Sorry, I didn't mean
Go
to
on.
interrupt you there. You
Give
tell
us
me
your
yours.
opinion. No,
My
no, 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 no.
opinion.
I wasn't even going to say anything. I was just going to say, yeah, there was a lot of talks like centered around AI, like different versions and
Yeah,
applications, but AI was the center topic.
really center of attention. Yeah.
Mm.
Um. So people are talking about, is there an AI bubble? And somebody, when they answered this question, I can't remember who it was, said is to understand, like, what that kind of means when you say that. And so what's happening is that everybody's all in on AI now. So, any
Mm.
company that's going to investors and they're like, I'm doing AI for this, I'm doing AI for
Mm.
that. They're like, great, here's loads of money.
Yeah.
And the thing is that, venture capital and like other like investing mechanisms, they're investing in a bunch of things. They're hedging their bets in the hopes that maybe
Mm-hmm.
5% will succeed, but the rest of them will fail. And what's happened is that, like, we're at the point where there's loads of money going into AI all over the place,
Mm.
but we haven't reached the point where like common sense is starting to win out, competition is starting to take effect. So like of
Mm.
all of this AI money, only a small percentage of them will actually succeed and like
Mm-hmm.
sustain and like have some longevity.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's not helped by the fact that there does seem to be an encouragement from people and like senior people in the industry, senior investors in the industry, senior advisors in the industry kind of thing. There does seem to be an encouragement of like, oh well, just do AI and then you'll get
Mm.
funding.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's like the
And
buzzword of right now.
yeah, and like a lot of people are taking that advice. The problem is that, let's be clear, I enjoy AI. I use it almost every day. I think that there are a lot of use cases where it can really benefit like work,
Mm-hmm.
like with different tools or your life. Like there's tons of really good use cases here that can really help us. There's of course a downside to that as it relates to like privacy, as it relates to jobs, as a ton of stuff. And we haven't really fully wrestled with what that means,
Mm-hmm.
nor put in the regulation or any kind of guardrails to prevent the worst effects of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, you've got a bunch of people saying they're doing AI when they're not, so it makes
Mm-hmm.
it seem
Mm-hmm.
like everything is. So it dilutes what AI actually is
Mm-hmm.
when everybody's just saying they're doing AI, and a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
time they're not. A lot of the time they're just putting a nice little slick, UI on top of an existing LLM and saying, "No, we're
Mm-hmm.
doing AI," and it's like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
it's actually somebody else is doing AI, and you're just
Yeah,
anyway.
kind of copying it. Yeah.
And so
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was interesting because people aren't having the conversations yet about valid and good and provable use cases of AI because they're still figuring that out.
Mm-hmm.
And there's kind of this like gold rush of AI. And most of the stuff that people are talking about isn't truly AI, or it's not a good use case for it, or there's no need, or they haven't really thought through the implications and planned for what they are. And I think that's a little bit of a miss.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well,
we'll
yeah, they're
see
not
over the
thinking
next
of,
year or two how it like plays out.
yeah, as yet, like they don't know yet,
Mm.
what they need it for, but they're being forced to mention it at least in order to get attention or even get a
Yes.
look in from investors, no matter if it's actually like a long-term plan that they
Yeah.
have. And does it actually achieve something for them? Like, does it support their goals or objectives, or are they just throwing something in there, wasting a
Yeah.
load of money on it, which is probably likely for a lot of places. They're not
Probably.
like
Yeah.
planning long term. Like, okay, this is a solution that's going to help us do X, Y, Z, and actively integrate it into the company. It's just
Yes.
kind of let's throw a band-aid on it and say we're doing AI, and investors are going to love it. And I'd say a lot of people don't, a lot of like senior executives don't even understand it enough, but they know they have to say something about it,
Mm.
but they just can't figure out how to use it within their business. And sometimes you might even need to use it, although I think you can probably do something somewhere. All companies use some kind of tech. You can probably automate something, but like you don't have to right now if you don't see a possibility for it actually helping you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 100% agree.
Mm.
100% agree. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how
Yeah.
that plays out. And I'm kind of hoping it goes through the filter soon,
Mm.
because it would be nice to see investment trends trending more towards like a diversity of ideas and a diversity
Mm.
of companies, right? Rather than just like AI or bust, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which then will create space for people to create good new companies again, even if AI isn't applicable to them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the World Wide Web
Yeah,
thing
the
where I was
dot-com bubble was like real, which is true.
yeah.
It's like you can build a company that like, whereas a part of you building that company, of course, you're going to have to use things like tech and the internet
Yeah.
and stuff, but it
Yeah.
doesn't mean that you're building a tech product. Like you could be
Yes.
building
Yeah.
a skincare thing, but of course
Yeah.
you have the technical tools to help you build that skincare company.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's the same here where nobody yet has been like, we can just be a company that uses AI to build this other thing. We
Mm.
don't have
Mm-hmm.
to all be building AI because that is already happening. right? So
Yeah.
unless you've got a solid use case for it, then it really shouldn't, be kind of this scattergun approach to AI that we're seeing today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is early days, really, in terms of,
Yeah, it really is. It is quite nascent in the grand scheme of things. Yeah.
Yeah. I did watch a talk with I think it was the chief policy officer from OpenAI, spoke and didn't really say too much, just a whole lot of, the regulations aren't there yet. We don't know what it means and all this stuff. And it just seems like nobody really knows what to do, how to regulate it in Canada, because the EU has rules already in place around it. Yeah. So they were talking like they'll have to do something similar to that, but who knows what it is and so on.
Yeah. The EU have some good regulation. The AI Act is worth looking up, and the US have none. So like there has to be a sweet spot somewhere in between. And the problem is that people say, "Oh yeah, we should have regulations," but then a lot of people don't want to because it'll dampen this kind of boom that's happening. And it's like
Yeah, I know. So there has to be a happy medium somewhere.
Yeah. And then on top of that, back to the earlier thing, almost every single AI solution that a lot of the ones are using right now, they're running through data centers in the US.
And they're guzzling gallons of water as they do.
Well, yeah, that too. But also like that's all your data, which is
it's scary to think about.
It is, yeah. So we also need like good Canadian infrastructure to be able to actually have good like infrastructure to support like AI in Canada, where the AI data sovereignty is actually a real thing, because it currently is not today.
Yeah, there's so many things to think about.
Yeah. So that was my week.
What a great week it was.
Honestly, it was a great week.
Yeah.
this aside, it was a great week. This is just a little blip. I had to sit in the emergency room for like 4 hours. It was pretty chill. So maybe that's exactly what I needed after.
Yeah, you needed that little break.
Yeah, just sit in my head.
Yeah. Just watch the world go by. And the emergency rooms are so interesting because you're just watching things all the time, like people coming in with various things, and you're like, oh my God, that's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. One thing I noticed in Elevate, and I'd said this to people before, Canadian people that I talked to, that like people love to high five each other here, and it's not a thing in Ireland. Like I couldn't even explain. So I said it to somebody in work the other day because we were doing a pickleball tournament, and I was like, by the way, I'm not really a high fiver. And then it's snowballed into, but why? And I was like, it's just not a thing in Ireland. Like nobody high fives each other ever. Like, okay, not ever, but like sometimes like, in a jokey way or something like that. But like they really love high fiving each other here.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder what that is. I've never thought about that before.
No.
I wonder, is it related to Irish people being really bad at giving each other compliments? And
yeah. So you wouldn't be like, well done, high five. It's like, well done.
Fair play.
Yeah.
That's all you get.
It was just something that stood out to me. I saw people high fiving, and I was like, that would never ever happen at an Irish conference.
It's true. I am, because I have been presented with a high five a few times, and it does take me a beat to be like, oh
yes,
but I'm not going to leave them hanging, so I'll do it.
But it's awkward because you're like,
oh, like a second. I'm like, oh, we're doing yeah.
And do you like grab their hand, or you just hit it?
No, I don't grab it. No, I don't grab their hands.
See, there's etiquette though, because sometimes you do grab it.
When?
There has been times at softball where people do grab your hand when you high five them, and then it's all very confusing, and I don't like it.
Listen, do you know what would help you out with your high five situation?
Yeah.
Get yourself a sling, put it on your right arm, and then you're like, oh, sorry.
I'm just forever ever wearing a sling while I live in Canada. Oh, sorry, still in the sling. You had that sling for 2 years. Look. Oh God. Even at my gym class yesterday, like the coach like sought me out to high five. I like, as soon as the class ended, I got up and I legged it to the door, and I went to wash my hands because I was using weights and all, and like when I came out of the thing, he was like there waiting like to high five me, and I was like, oh my God. He couldn't possibly let me leave without doing it. Funny. So anyway, sorry to detract from Elevate, but I just thought that was something interesting.
That was great. That's good. I love it.
So if somebody tries to high five you, or you try to high five somebody who's Irish, don't be put off by the fact that they're kind of awkward about it.
That they might seem surprised.
Yeah. Actually, when I was in Mexico to see Oasis, my brother and I got out of the car we were in, and literally 2 seconds after we got out, this girl goes, "You Irish?" And we were like, "Yeah, yeah, like, are you?"
Big
Like,
Irish
"Yeah."
head on you.
You big, honestly, we barely stepped a foot out of the car in the middle of Mexico
Mm.
City, and this girl was Irish or whatever, and I was like, "Oh, where are you from?" She was like, "Kerry," and she put up her hand, and I thought she was just being like, "I'm from Kerry," and but she was going to high five, and we were both so shocked. We didn't even realize, like Tom or I didn't realize what she was doing. And she was like, "Oh, you can leave me hanging." And we were like, "Oh my God, I didn't even realize you were putting your hand up," because it was an Irish person.
Yeah, that's
So
funny.
anyway, long
Anyway,
story short, it's blown my mind that the
long
difference,
story long.
yeah, cultural differences again highlighted. So now people in work are always pretending to high five me, and it freaks me out.
Honestly, you brought that on yourself.
I brought too much attention to it, and
You
now
did, yeah.
I'm getting more high fives than I ever would in my
Yeah.
life.
We also do know that your cringe factor is high. Like your cringe, yeah. So not factor, but like your cringe
Yeah, my cringe.
tolerance. Your cringe tolerance is low, I should say.
Yes, it is. Yes, I did write an article.
You
probably
did write it.
saw
I
the
read
value.
it.
Yeah, the dollar value of cringe.
Yeah, it was really good. Check it out.
Check it out.
Yeah, authenticity and marketing. You got to get it right.
It's a tough balance because it depends on
Mhm.
your cringe factor again, and mine is extremely my tolerance is low. So I'm veering on the side of nearly doing too little because I'm like, no, that's cringe, you know. So yeah,
depends on your audience.
Yeah. So yeah, check it out. We're doing one on authenticity next.
Oh, nice.
And how difficult it is to come across as authentic if you're trying to be authentic.
You're trying to be, yeah.
Because you can't try. It just has to happen. But then also, like, yeah, it's difficult. It is. But anyway.
That's all I got.
Yeah, a quick, nice and short one this evening.
Yeah, it was good. Don't high five an Irish person. And yeah.
Or don't. Don't consider the cultural differences when you try to high five an Irish person and how much internal strife it's going to cause them. So anyway,
and be careful when you're putting a towel on.
You might just lose your arm.
Might just lose your arm for a week or more. We'll see.
All right. Okay.
All right.
We'll talk later. Bye.
Bye.